Deborah Malman. Yeah, and she won a Logie the other night.
Deborah Malman, she's a formidable actress, and she's very good at portraying believable characters.
Jackie Huggins, don't need to think about that for a second. She's a strong, powerful woman who really brought the kinds of Aboriginal feminism to the table, especially at times when the struggle for non-white women was so big.
Many years ago I worked as a planner for the Australian Government Disability Services, and part of my role was to travel around country New South Wales consulting with Aboriginal communities about disability services. And I did that in partnership with an Aboriginal man who worked for the organisation as well. And I was just always so impressed by his ability to connect with anybody that we came to. He would always be able to find some sort of link with anyone, whether it was through family, friends or place. And that just meant that immediately they respected and trusted him. So I was able to see him do that and think that's what I would really like to be able to do with any of the connections I make with anybody. But one of the things he really taught me was that, when you're asked about where you're from, they're not asking you, like, what organisation do you come from? They're saying, where do you come from? Who are you? And I thought that was really good, because before then I'd always thought, if you're a professional person, you just talk about your job or your role, but that's not what people need to know to be able to connect with you. So I've carried that with me really all my professional career, I think.
Definitely Jack Manning Bancroft. So he is the CEO and founder of the Australian Indigenous Mentoring Experience, which they do a lot of work with young Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander high school students who then are mentored by university students. And I was really lucky to be involved in that program at uni.
Well, I'm in love with Aidan Ridgway. So I think I'm always interested in what he's doing. If he's on the television, I stop and listen to what he's got to say. I thought his political career was really interesting, and I'm really sorry that he didn't join a political party that still survives today. So.
I think Gary Foley, because he, when I was growing up as a young guy, he was such a passionate fighter.
There's quite a few, so it's very hard to pick and choose, but I think Lionel Fogarty is obviously, for me, a important figure, being a literary poet and talking about deaths in custody and a lot of political activism. But a moment that has probably stuck with me is when Cathy Freeman got the Aboriginal flag out after she won at the Olympics. It was a really bold statement. It was very inspiring.
Cathy Freeman. Yeah, it's got to be Cathy Freeman. Yes. I think she has inspired, growing up watching her, she was just an inspiring figure, not only for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities, but I guess for young people in Australia.
My parents inspired me to get an education and who struggled and dealt with racism all their lives. My father and sister became involved in Aboriginal affairs and continued to fight for our cause till their deaths. I've also admired Charlie Perkins, Bill Ferguson, Eddie Marbo, also local Aboriginal elders here in Dubbo. Example, Pat Doolan, Shirley Wilson, Mary Ann Housing, Rod Towney, just to name a few.
Well, I'm sure this person would be very embarrassed by this, but my most inspiring Aboriginal person is a woman called Christine Corby, who's the CEO of the Aboriginal Medical Service at Walgett, and she's also the chair of the Aboriginal Health and Medical Research Council. I've had a lot to do with Christine, and what I admire about her is she is a woman who is on a mission to improve the health and welfare of Aboriginal communities. She's very clear about what needs to be done, what are some of the challenges that are presented, and she is so focused on working with government, other people and the community to achieve great improvements at a community level. It's really hard work, and she's not seeking glory. So the accountability I feel towards her and she feels towards the community, I think is incredibly important. And she engenders that in me, and I really appreciate what she's trying to achieve.
Well, it'd have to be four sisters and cousins who are portrayed in the Sapphires movie, who I had the privilege of working with in Redfern at the Aboriginal Medical Service there, and they're portrayed in that Sapphires movie, of course. But to meet them in real life and to hear the stories of how the Aboriginal Medical Service was set up and it became the model for the other Aboriginal medical services all over the country was just inspirational, and they incredible women, and I really appreciated seeing them face to face and getting to hear their stories and seeing the legacy that they're still working in but that they have left behind.